Hello, 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 everybody. I think we are live. Kindly comment. Kindly comment and let me recheck that we are live or not. And if we are live, my photo and my audio is visible and audible respectively to all of you guys. Kindly chat on the comment box and let me know. Yes, let's wait for 2 to 3 minutes to join everybody. Dilip Salvani, sir. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I think you might be in Dubai or something in other country. Here it is evening. Hello, Diksha. Good evening. Let's just wait for 1 or 2 minutes and then we will start. Oh, great in UK. Okay, great. Hello, everybody. How are you all? And thank you for joining today as we have preponed the session and thank you for joining for today's session. And I guess my audio is clear and audible to all of you guys. Shankar, hello, good evening. So by the time we start, tell me who all have done the assignment of digital forensics that we have shared previously. Yes, and the ones who have completed the assignment, tell me how was it? Easy, difficult? I've made it like not that difficult this time because if we will build the particular digital forensic assignment too difficult, then most of the participants wouldn't solve that. So I want to let you learn. It's good. Yeah, thank you. Yes, we will start when we reach around 50 viewers so that we can start with the session. Let the people come. We'll wait for another 1 minute, 1 2 minutes. It could have been little advanced. Yes, the flag was. I don't know. I will not disclose how was the event and what was the flag, but yes, it was. It is quite easy. I can give you the hint that it is quite easy. So I have got some of the doubts in my DMs that is it that easy? So I guess yes, it is that easy. If you got the flag, congratulations, it's submitted. Yeah, Sunkara Yeshwan. Now I've told that if you have DM'd me about the flag that you have shared with me for confirmation, yes, it is the flag, and I guess yes, just submit that particular flag. So are you guys excited for today's event of threat hunting? Kindly comment and tell me what are your expectations from the event. Yes, kindly comment fast and tell me what are your expectations from the event. I guess you can comment. There is no restrictions. Highly excited. Great, great, great. We are having a great speaker for today's session that you might already know. The speaker don't need any introduction for today's session. One more thing, when I've given you the assignment for the OSINT part, that just research and tell me who are the speakers for particular sessions. Most of you have guessed the speaker of threat hunting right away. So this shows how our speaker is valuable and how our speaker is famous. Yeah. Hello, sir. Highly excited for today's session. Yes. Pranav Pandit, hi. Maybe we'll learn about threat hunting on dark web. Yes. It will be covered in the session, I guess. I have started in your DM. Can you check once? I've shared in your DM. Yeah, I will check after the session starts. I will definitely check. Okay. Sunkara Yashwant. Yeah, I'll definitely check. So I guess we can start now. The other people can join afterwards. Now, let me start with the introduction. So basically, for today's session, that is Threat Hunting Unveiled. I am your host, Shikit Singh, and I am a founder of Secured Bharat Group and Secured Bharat as well. Secured Bharat Group is the non-profit organization, and it's the initiative by Secured Bharat, which is a LLP company. Okay. Now, on Secured Bharat Group, we are focused on giving cyber awareness and technical educations free of cost to all of the citizens of India, so that there should not be any technical barrier or anything to study and learn more about a particular topic in cybersecurity domain. Now, for today's session, we are having the speaker. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Uh, yeah. Okay. Now we are good to go. So over these past sessions, we have explored phishing forensics. Okay, we have explored network forensics, and we have explored digital forensics. Okay, but with the great sessions, we have the got feedback also that all the sessions were very great, and I guess you have enjoyed the assignments also. And now we are stepping into the proactive battlefield of cybersecurity, that is threat hunting. It is a very crucial aspect of cybersecurity domain. So today's expert speaker needs no introduction. We are honored to have with us Mr. Mahadev Gavas, who is the specialist at Red Team at SISA, organizer of Security BSides Mumbai. That you have might read and seen the post on the LinkedIn that Security BSides organizes cybersecurity conferences per year. And yeah, our speaker is certified in ECPPT version 2, CH, and CRTP. He'll be taking us through threat hunting unveiled, a deep dive into attackers' behavior, proactive detection, and mastering in MITRE attack framework. Okay, so get ready for a 70% practical and 30% theory session packed with red team insights, real world hunting strategies, and advanced detection methods used by top professionals in the field. So grab your notes, stay engaged in the live chat, okay? Because all the things will be shared in the live chat, all the polls, answer all the polls which will be shared in the live chat. And let's make the session more interacting and interesting. Uh, Without any further delay, let's welcome our speaker, Mr. Mahadev Gavas, to take over and guide us through the art since the threat hunting unveiled. Over to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. And now let's continue the session.
Sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. It's really great to connect with all of you online today. And first of all, a big thank you to Kshitij and the Secured Bharat Group for inviting me to speak today. And of course, thanks to everyone who have joined us live today on YouTube. And today's session, as it says, threat hunting unveiled, proactive search, and MITRE attack mystery. Yeah, I might also add another subtitle that threat hunting unveiled from an attacker's mindset to a defender's vision. The reason why I have added this attacker's mindset to the defender's vision is has a particular reason which you will get to know in a few minutes. Yeah. So before we dive in, a quick intro so you know where my perspective comes from. Oh, I already know the Kshitij have already introduced about me a bit more, I guess. But yeah, the reason why I'm introducing myself again, just to give you an intro, so that whatever perspective I am having right now in my career, like what I am doing, or regarding the threat hunting specifically, that you can have a good idea about. So yeah, my name is Mahadev Gavas, and for the past 5 years, I have been working across different areas of cybersecurity, including common cybersecurity services like VAPT and all other. Plus, additionally, offensive security simulation, incident response, and bit of digital forensics. Like I have spent most of my career on offensive side, like red team operations, web network infrastructure penetration testing, security audits, and configuration reviews. That experience gave me a front row seat to how attacker think and how they can change small configuration misconfigurations into a full compromise of the whole organization. And that mindset is exactly what we will carry into this threat hunting today. So I am currently working in CISA InfoSec as a red team specialist, where I focus on performing real world attack scenarios from external to internal and even the physical level, to help the organization to strengthen their overall security posture. So there are very less organizations which allow for the physical red team assessment as well. But it's my we say luck where I'm able to allow different sort of hardware and different sort of tools, C2s to perform real life red team engagement. So outside of my work, I am also organizer of Security BSides Mumbai conference and the founder and former CTF player of Team Dark Army. And additionally, I actually came from a bachelor's of art background, and I always mention that because it reminds me that cybersecurity isn't just about where you start, but it's about the curiosity, persistence, and the mindset. So over the year, working on both offensive and the investigative side, I won't say defensive side as such, but investigative side has given me one clear insight that the best defenders think like attackers, and that's where the threat hunting comes into the picture. So yes, in today's session, we will explore how you can move beyond the traditional alert based on defenses and start proactive hunting for threats using real world adversaries technique, and where we will be using MITRE attack framework as well. Moreover, as a MITRE attack mapper or the MITRE navigator, so we can map all from initial access to the persistence. Everything can be mapped out and it can be used into the threat hunting and detection perspective. So grab your notepad, as Kshitij said, or just sit back and listen. I will try to keep things more easy and connect both technical people and the non-technical people perspective of the threat hunting. So here is my LinkedIn where you can find me. You can just even Google about me like Mahadev Gavas Cybersecurity. I might come in the top. And here is my email where you can email me anything regarding research paper or queries or anything else. which might be a bit interesting. Yeah. So moving forward, so today's topic about threat hunting. So attacks have been evolved faster than the defenses. So let's start by looking at how most organizations defend themselves today. Like people might be knowing how organizations are defending themselves by using firewalls, by using antiviruses, by using different sort of EDR, SIEM, or maybe even an XDR stack. A very common thing about these all setup are these tools are powerful, but they also are reactive. So what I mean here by reactive is, so these reactive defenses or reactive systems wait for an alert to fire, and based on that fire they will respond to the known signature, or like look for the incident. Whereas what we do into the threat hunting is totally different, which is a proactive. We do take help of reactive defenses, but we utilize those resources for a proactive approach. They only respond when there is an alert triggered, and that is not always enough, what we feel. That's why the attacker, or however anyone any attacker or any threat actor won't try to create alert, or will try to create new bypasses which might not trigger an alert. And that's where we need to find how or what new TTPs those are using. They move silently, try to live off the land, and try to blend into the normal behavior. And you might not even know if an adversary is already inside your environment or not. So threat hunting is something that flips the equation of defense and attack. So there was a gap where SOC team used to get alert after a particular time that yes, we have got breach, or they might even not know, because if there are utilization of a very unknown signatures. Known signatures, they have the data set they try to keep, but attackers are advanced. So they are not aware like what exactly new TTPs are getting included. So instead of waiting for alert, we actively search for a subtle sign of compromise. Like there is one English said, like every crumbs are left behind every logs. So those breadcrumbs left behind in the log, we need to figure out what are the way how we are able to correlate it with each other. It might be logs, it might be endpoint, it might be network flow and all other. It is not about replacing your SOC, it's about augmenting it with curiosity and intent. Majority time whenever there are attack, there are different type of APTs or incident, usually the cybersecurity folks or the management are in thought of like, our SOC team was not able to detect. Your SOC team work is to monitor the known threats and include or research about new threats which are coming from the internet, from the Google, or from the experience. So you can't even blame continuously that we need to replace our SOC and all those things, because you will need to make the whole SOC environment or the defense environment in such a manner that it can research by themselves. They can, if there are any sort of instincts that yeah, I think there is some issue with one of the particular server which is not responding correctly, or for a particular server which network graph have increased by a bit, you need to investigate that. So that's the thing what threat hunters do. Moving forward, what is threat hunting? So, formally speaking, threat hunting is the proactive search for adversaries that have skip past prevention and the detection control. So, we are assuming that there is already someone inside the computer, even though if the person is not there, not the person, but the adversaries are not there or there. Or in a simpler term, I can say it is like being a detective. You don't want to wait for an alarm, you just go out and look for the clues if there are any clues which you are able to get. So it's not a random search also. It's not like the person is that much free that he is just randomly searching any of the system. No, it's so threat hunting has a very first step, that is hypothesis, which is like a intuition or a assumption that something might be going wrong, and behind that assumption or intuition there should be a reason, there should be some other validation. For example, what if someone just exfiltrate data from your old finance server, or what traces will that have leave behind? So for example, you came into the organization, you got to know that there was a breach into particular data center. So what are the chance that there can be a breach into another data center where you are storing the backups? So same thing can be tested there, same method can be tested there. Additionally, investigation or threat intelligence from a outer shell perspective, which is also known as like searching or threat research, basically finding on the Google or dark web or different forums if there are any talks going on regarding the particular organization or particular technology stack, that there are 0 day available or some vulnerability might have been generated. So all those things comes into part of research of threat hunters. So yeah, we then test those hypotheses using telemetry, endpoint data, network traffic, process logs, authentication records, and many more. It's same like searching for an attacker who are already inside but haven't been caught yet. So when we say haven't been caught yet, yes, because we have to make sure that whatever threat hunters are doing are checking with each and every logs why those logs are generated. First of all, every hunt either uncovers evidence of compromise or it strengthens the confidence that the environment is clean, and both the outcomes are very valuable, I guess, because when you perform a threat hunting and that time you got to know, yeah, there was a compromise, there was a breach, but our SOC was not able to detect because those people use this thing, those people use different TTPs, those people use different set of tools, those were not known. So that is also a valuable achievement. Plus, if you are able to not find anyone into your organization by your threat hunting, you are not able to find that there was a breach or there is any attacker sitting inside our infrastructure. That is also valuable for your organization. So think in a both perspective. Hunt like the adversary is already in because they probably are. So that should be the very top level mindset of a threat hunters. As I said, like I come from a red team background, my or the offensive side mostly VAPT and all other. So I am bit aware about what things go in the offensive side. When it comes to threat hunting, I know that these things are very common that I will be using. And when there is a purple team activity in our organization, so recently I started with malware development and also started with the purple team activity. In that I got to learn about threat hunting a lot, like how important it is, how useful it can be, and how it can prevent the further exploitation or any incident in the organization. In the purple team activity, we know what we are going to do, attack, how we are going to bypass any particular EDR, XDR. Literally, even now, if possible, I will show you the demo. Even today, even now you can use Metasploit, which people usually say it's outdated and all those things. Even now your Metasploit can bypass different sort of XDR. I won't name them because very recently we bypassed very two big XDRs. Even the Microsoft Defender we were able to bypass just using the Metasploit. Only the thing is the loader what we use was totally different or was custom built from our end. So yeah, there are very high chances that attacker might come with a very different set of tools, and your SOC or your data set might not have those particular tools, hashes to identify these attacks. Moving forward, the mindset shift. Yes. So why the mindset shift from waiting for alerts to searching for anonymous? So what I will give you a process in to understand very easily. First, take it as a build, BUILD. That means when the network infrastructure or the technology was developed, at that stage was a build stage. After that, people or hackers or adversaries started attacking. That's why a second stage, that was defend, that came into the place. And after defend coming into this place, people got to understand that there have been their defend is good because it's defending from a very common attacks, but it's not defending from the bypasses or slightly changes into the payloads. That's why they started the third stage as a attack, and then they started correlating attack with defend, and then defend used to correlate with the build team to patch it. So this is how the era started. If you look into the history of information security, and then the fourth stage that came was the management, because there were conflicts between all these three groups, because some of the attack points used to be not worthy to be submitted to the build team. It was their thought, but in the other hand, attack team used to thought like these are also important. If you are in the corporate and if you are into a product team, then you might not product team, but in a product based company, then you might have faced the same scenario that developer might said these are the very nonsense issue which the hacker won't even touch. But that is totally a different level. That's why the fourth stage was the management team that came up, and management team started with creating scope, creating standards, or implementing standard, or taking out what need to be done or what not need to be done, and what need to be fixed and what can be taken as a business accepted risk. So that's how a fourth stage have been created. So when the first and second stage was created, everything was fine. The third stage was need to be created because of this old mindset. People used to wait for the SIEMs to trigger the alert. People used to trust tools more rather than the human. They used to think like the attacker team might not give us that much of input, but the tools might give us more, react to the known indicators. But they used to know they used to not understand what are the indicators that are not that are unknown, then assuming that their defenses are working very well. For example, the many more big APTs which have been happened, or many incident have been happened, those are like more into same scenario, like they assume their defenses are working very fine. You might call about the penthouse, you might call about the breach in the national security agencies, or NASA, or many different big organizations. They used to think their defense is working fine. That's why they used to stay behind. But the hacker used to exfiltrate the data. The hacker used to gain more and more information about the organization. And this same activities have been performed by the state-sponsored hackers as well, specifically from Chinese organizations, which you might see if you read the APTs a lot, then you might know the state-sponsored category starts with the Chinese activity only. So moving forward, right now the hunter mindset should be about questioning each and everything. When I say questioning each and everything, is to investigate, identify what things were done, what things were wrong, what things were taken away, and all those things. Then assuming that adversaries are already present and creating a strategies like how, where he can be, and what things are exposed. These things also help you to reduce the attack surface, like whatever assets you are having on the public internet, those can also be reduced. Third is like look for subtle deviations, like there are glitch, like a small to small modification. For example, if someone is getting logged in after the office hours, these type of activities are not usually generated by the SOC team. But nowadays, after many experience, now they have started with those things. Like yeah, there was a login or there was another IP who was trying to connect with our Active Directory server or any of the web application server at a very unknown path. And when we are searching for an attacker, you need to think like an attacker. That's why we say threat hunting requires curiosity, creativity, and a healthy dose of paranoia. You are not just responding, you are actively seeking threats that don't want to be found. If you are overthinking about something in the threat hunting, that is accepted as a very well thought, because it need to be verified from your end, from the DFIR, from the incident response team, from the digital forensic team as well. A typical hunting or the threat hunting workflow will look like this. At the very first stage, I said hypothesis creation is very much required. It defines what you are looking for and why. The reason behind what you are looking for and why is something like your intuitions, as I said earlier. That's a very first stage of threat hunting. Second stage is data collection and data analysis, or maybe we can directly take as an investigation, because data collection and data analysis comes within the investigation itself. So identifying what data set are required for relevant hypothesis or the relevant assumption. For example, if I am assuming that my Active Directory was compromised or my particular web application server was compromised, I will check with the DMZ log, I will check with the access log, I will check with the error log of the application. Was there multiple error? Was there multiple access log provided? Or anyone accessed the application on a very different path, which is not common to you? So all these things are something that need to be created. You don't want to collect an irrelevant log. For example, you will be taking the logs of inside perimeter log, which are not required at the initial stage. At least you required a perimeter firewall log. That way you can understand, yeah, there has been a transaction or there has been a flow of network which is unknown to us, or via this network or via proxying the external server, there was a transaction provided or a flow provided. Then there is a data analysis, which is like search, correlate, visualize, and identify. Like searching a whole stack of data. Nowadays it has been easy. One thing is artificial intelligence. Second thing is you already have a set of bunch of tools which are commercial and some are open source, which are utilized to uh, complete the whole data analysis, which gives you a proper timeline. Yeah, at this time this activity was happened, at this time this activity was happened. There is one tool called Garuda, which I won't be providing a demo, but yeah, I will provide a link to it that you guys can check that tool. You guys can understand based on your own Windows log that what things have been happening into your system. Even if you create a single process, it might be opening an Explorer, that also it creates a record event, and that's why the Garuda tool is used to investigate. It's a very newly tool. It has been developed, I think, 3 months ago, and now I think you can also see it's the developer who have created. He have posted a video about it last 3-4 days ago. How to utilize the Garuda tool for threat hunting or investigation as well. Second stage, we were talking about the investigation and validation. We pivot deeper on a suspicious activity and confirm or refuse the hypothesis. So this is something like we check all the endpoint and then we find there have been some activity, but this activity was not able to successfully get into our web application or the server. Same in the same manner, you can check, yeah, there are only success logs which are not suspicious, or there are no error log as such which says that there was an attack happening. So based on those hypothesis validation or the investigation, you can check if any additional activity need to be done, that is discovering and responding. Discovering is something like malicious activity is fine, just check how the things were elevated, how attacker went from, for example, if there is an application, I will try for a very common attack, that is SQLi injection. I tried with the SQLi injection, I got the shell, I uploaded an OS shell, I got another shell, I created, I got into the system, I then after getting into the system, I checked with the additional files, then I got more passwords and passwords or multiple things, and I pivoted into the network. If threat hunters are uh, getting only what we say getting onto a initial stage of incident, then there is no use of threat hunters. Those things can be done by digital forensic team, but threat hunters need to identify what sort of payload was used that was not detected by our firewall or not defended by our firewall. How we can improvise, how we can create a signature of this particular attack, or how we can try to create a YAML or behavior based detection for this particular attack. So those are the part, and that's where they respond, like they contain the threat, they improve the detection, they feed the finding into back into their security program for continuous improvement. They create a record of finding, they improve the detection rules, they feed all the insights from network to web to back to their SOC team so that they can also monitor those particular activity, similar activity. This loop never really ends. Like each hunt informs the next one. For example, whatever activity have been done right now, it will help the future activity as well. You know, you have done this method, you have went from this gate, but yes, there is another window as well open. Over the time, you build what is called as a hunting playbook, or basically hunting playbook library, which is tailored to your organization, which is related to your organization. And this really helps your organization to keep a record, like what things were mitigated before the attack, what things were mitigated after the attack, and what is the data record, how we are improvising our security posture. All these things are very important. So before jumping to this threat hunting versus SOC or incident response, so everyone might think like when it's a defense, so there is SOC team, and people used to think that SOC team is the only team which also do the incident response and also do the threat hunting and also do the digital forensic and all other things. But no, it's not the true. There are difference about it. But before moving to this thing, we will just check with one more ideology, that is, so there are three type of threat hunting. What we do, one is intel driven threat hunting, which is based on the threat reports. Second is data driven threat hunting, which is based on anonymous. Third is hypothesis driven. The version which we talk right now was totally a hypothesis based, right? Assuming based on a particular activity or modification or changes is the hypothesis driven threat hunting. Now, when I say intel driven, so intel means intelligence. Obviously, everyone know about it. So, sorry. Yeah. Intelligence, intel based threat hunting is more of like gathering information from Google, dark web, checking if the organization is getting mentioned somewhere, or like understanding if there are new sort of attack happening, or if the any sort of previously known threat have been engage with your organization. You can keep an eye on them. You can track a particular server or particular organization. And then the second one is the data driven. So data driven is something like after the incident is happened, or for example, you are working in an organization where your SOC team is like, we don't have any alert this month. Your forensic team is like, we don't even got any incident reported till now, so we are fine. But at the end of the month, you are getting a email from a ransomware group or adversary group that all the data related to your organization or of your customers have been hacked or have been exfiltrated. That's where the data driven starts with, where you investigate, you get the logs, you get the SIEM correction where the SOC was failed to generate the alert, and what things were happen, how fresh the data is, what sample the adversary is providing you, what the metadata of that data is, where exactly the sample was stored previously, on which database, on which data center, which region. All these things come in a data driven base, and these can be rechecked, or based on this particular event happening into one of the branch, this can be same check in the other branches as well. Any questions so far, just comment over the live chat and I will be happy to responding to it. Now moving forward to the SOC operating operations, then threat hunting and incident. So as I previously said, threat hunting is the person which have bridged the gap between continuous monitoring and the incident response. SOC is something that continuously monitor everything, every infrastructure, every logs. Yeah, obviously there are delay in the logs as well, so that is also something that a gap that is hunt by threat hunters or either by a red teamers. So alerts are triggered to investigate, and SOC team responds on those alerts. On and most of the alerts which are triggered are based on the known threats. This I have repeated a multiple time. Based on the signature as well. Antivirus is something that works based on the signature. But if you bypass the signature, if you sign your malware, and if you execute it, the normal antivirus won't be able to catch it until and unless it's not having EDR or XDR system or additional endpoint security system or additional Sysmon log activity or network activity which are being targeted, right? This thing really help us a lot because, for example, I will just not an example, but I will share you one of the not incident, but one of the activity what I have did. So I was performing a red team activity on a particular non-financial sector organization, and there we were able to get into their office by doing tailgating, Then we attach their network into our Linux system or Windows system. We bypass their NAC. We compromise their what do we say Wi-Fi, and then we were staying into their network, and then we were enumerating the network in the passive manner. Then we enumerated the network in the active manner when everyone was connecting, when everyone was uh, you know uh, talking a lot internally, were having tea, coffee, or going outside. At that time, we were keeping the activity managed, because when we were using a cloned MAC address, that time, whenever the user comes back and he started using his system, some of the other shell or the MAC address used to get confusion between Wi-Fi. That's why the connection used to get dropped. At that point, this signature was not defined into their SOC team, that if Wi-Fi access point is getting two identical MAC address at a time, then the alert should be triggered that someone is into the network who is trying to mimic a same hardware interface that is going to connect to the Wi-Fi SSID. So that was a very first finding for us to be provided in the internal assessment. And moving forward, then we done some attacks which were loud. We might say network enumeration or Kerberos or domain enumeration. And after performing whole attack, we were waiting why the SOC team is not coming, because there was one another objective of forensic readiness or the incident readiness, like how the team is reacting based on the incident. That's why we intentionally created an incident just to check how the team is reacting. And we were prepared. As soon as we see people are getting confused, people are checking here and there, that time we have to move to another floor. But unluckily, for more than 3 to 4 hours, there was no alert generated, or the no SOC team was bothered anything, because there was a time delay between a system logs and a SIEM system to reach, because they had kept a cycle like after uh, 2 hours or after 60 minutes, this logs will be generated. When they set for the 2 hours, in the first 2 hours, half logs were sent. That's why a particular log section was only analyzed by the SIEM, and at that point, it was not investigated that these are full logs or not. Those were partial logs. That's why the detection ratio was less, which they figured it as a warning and they removed the logs, remove the alert. Secondly, after 4 hours, they got to know, yeah, there was an incident and there is an attack going on. Till that time, we were exiting from the organization, and at that time, we saw the people are getting messed up. The SOC team is frightened. They are starting searching here and there if any unknown person is within the organization, or anyone sitting outside the organization who might have connected to their Wi-Fi and hacking into their system. But they didn't know the gap between the alerts, the logs, and the SIEM were more than 2 hours. So these things are also added by the threat hunting team, where they check like how much time. There is a terminology: time to detect, uh, time to investigate, and time to remediate. So these are the three factors that those are checked by the incident response team as well as the threat hunters. So SOC team is something that works on reactive. Threat hunting team is something that works on proactive, which we have already spoken. Then comes the incident response team, which works on active containment. It seemed like COVID wala thing. So incident response team is totally different from the SOC team. Yeah, it might differ organization to organization. Some organizations keep all this team in collaboration, and in those scenario, when they keep it in collaboration, they work in each and everything. So they are aware about SOC, they are aware about digital forensic, they are aware about incident response. But when the teams are split, which usually happens in the big organization, because they want SOC team to be expertise into SOC only, because they don't want any additional activity that can remove the interest from the person, or might miss something in the SOC. So when the confirmed breach is confirmed from the threat hunters or the SOC team, that time the incident response team come. They move it to the isolation. They captures the memory. They create a memory dump. They seize the hardware. They seize the network and all those things. And then damage assessment is checked, like how much damage it has been done based on the log analysis, like how much data was sent out of the network from this system, how much what sort of commands were launched from this system, what sort of malware or anything like backdoor have been kept. All those things are done by the incident response team, including the forensic team. And a post incident remediation, like what can be done, that is also implemented by the threat hunters. Okay, we have missed this thing, that we need to check this thing as well from now, and we need to advance this particular attack, and we need to take it into our playbook. Yeah, it is similar like a digital forensic. So is incident response also monitoring 24 by 7? No, incident response is not monitoring 24 by 7, but it will be totally depending upon uh, organization to organization. If they have collaborative system, then yes. If they don't have collaborative system, then no. How did you create an incident? Creating an incident is very simple. You just take any, for example, if you want to create an incident, you set a policy, or for example, you can use an ELK, which is elastic log analysis, which works with what was Cabana, I guess. And there is Wazoo as well, which is open source. You can use into you can just deploy it into your VMware or deploy it over AWS free servers, and there you create the rules. And for example, you have created a rule that none of the activity or none of the server from out of India should be connecting to your network. Create a different E2 network, and from which is of Singapore or which is of Malaysia, and from there try to connect to your particular IP. Alerts will be triggered. Even you can just create a Metasploit payload and you can put it into your system. A basic alert will be generated by your at least Wazoo. Okay. Yeah, these all functions complete each other. Like threat hunting is without SOC team, threat hunting doesn't have a value. Without incident response, threat hunting doesn't have value. So each other are required from their perspective. Moving forward to threat hunting tools and data sources. Here, you don't need to experience tool to start hunting the process. You need to understand first that threat hunting can be done without the tool, but only the things tools make your work easy. You need the visibility to start with the threat hunting, like what exactly need to be checked. So begin with what you already have. For example, Windows event logs. I bet, like, how many of you really check into your Wi-Fi logs, that how many have been connected, which SSID was previously connected, or what error your Wi-Fi have been generating? You can just comment down, like, yeah, if you might have been checking those things, like checking out the Wi-Fi log, checking out the Windows log. You can use you can install the Sysmon. Sysmon is basically additional Windows-based utility, which gives from a start of a booting to whatever the activity you are doing or till the shutdown. All the activities are captured by the Sysmon tool. You just need to install that. Then after installation, you can check the Windows event log. You will see drastical change into your Windows event log. Currently, you might see 10 to 15 logs or 30 logs or more after a particular restart. Whereas when you install the Sysmon, you will see in 500, 300, 100, 200 as well. Totally depend. Even if you open a CMD, or even if you are using a Metasploit payload, even by whitelisting, and from there you are migrating a process to explorer.exe, that will be also caught by Sysmon tool. But Sysmon doesn't create alert. Sysmon only creates logs of each and every activity. Then you can check with the firewall or the proxy logs. If you are using VPN, obviously in any of the organization you are using VPN, so you can check with the VPN log. If your organization is having DLP and all, Zscaler or anything, you can check with their logs what exactly things are happening. Then when we say regarding the corporate, you need to you will be able to get endpoint detection telemetry. What I mean by telemetry is the same as logs. Telemetry will have the data, like what thing was happened and based on what the EDR or XDR have detected this. Endpoint detection system telemetry is same. Then you can check with the Active Directory audit log. For example, if you are testing, you are learning Active Directory, then what you can do is you can perform a particular attack, maybe Kerberoasting, or maybe hash dumping or some other thing, or exfiltrating data from LDAP queries, and you can check with the Active Directory audit logs, like what logs were generated. You can pull those log into your Wazoo or your any of the open source tool, and you can try to identify, okay, this was a signature which have been already provided. How you can try to bypass it? What are the ways you can bypass it? So those are the things what we do in the purple teaming actually, that we check what things are done by the blue teamers, how many attacks were detected by the blue teamers, how many attacks were not detected. So what we do next time, whatever attack we are doing which were detected, we try to upscale those attacks by using different fingerprints, by customizing into the code, by customizing the packet fragments, by adding additional whitelisted activity. For example, recently I read a blog regarding uninstaller.exe of 7-zip, which can be used as a malware. You can replace the uninstall.exe as a one of the payload from your C2, and you can just change the name, and you can just click on uninstall. And uninstall.exe is something that is whitelisted by your Windows Defender or your basic antivirus software, because the names or the path are very familiar and they keep it as ignored until and unless those are signed. So these sort of activities you can try to generate the alerts or the incident. Okay, so check Windows log using Sysmon while working on a homemade project to detect unauthorized logging. Yeah, by Sysmon you can do multiple things. The tool regarding which I told you, the Grida tool, I remember the name. Monoappa22 is the username of that developer. Or you can just go to the GitHub, or you can just add a comprehensive PowerShell based threat hunting or incident response framework. You will get it in the very first section, because this tool have been launched, I think, within 3 or 4 months. So that will also help you a lot. Yeah, moving forward, log aggregation. Yes, SIEM platforms usually store all the logs, or bring every log into a single interface where every logs have been correlated with the timestamp, with the activity, with the IPs and all. It might be endpoint log, traffic log, authentication log, or the basically this is a very base foundation of any hunt. In threat hunting you require this thing, because based on this only you will be creating your assumptions. Network visibility, packet capture, flow data. Packet capture I won't say as such, because this is not something threat hunters actively do, because when there is a very high suspicious that yes, there is some other connection that is been going from DNS or via different topology, then not topology, sorry, different protocol, then a packet capture activity is performed, or already if your firewall is capable to store the captured packets, then yes, you can investigate on that. Flow data is something very useful if you are checking day-to-day activity, that okay, in the normal hours the data flow or the network flow is settled to 20 or 30, but unfortunately unknowingly you got an alert that during non-office hours or during the peak hours or in the morning time of the shift, that there was a bit upside from the data flow, and that can create investigation, this thing, what do we say, assumption for it. Then DNS logs, obviously, most of the time DNS log used to be ignored, but nowadays DNS logs are something which are very highly important. From when we attackers started using DNS for data exfiltration, because DNS are something which previously used to be not investigated. Then proxy record, understanding what moving across your network and all those things, those are one of the data sources that you can take on. Then there is endpoint telemetry. Sorry. Endpoint telemetry is same what we have spoken about, EDR solution or the process execution data or any modification into your registry or file for maybe persistence or any different purpose. All those can be taken out from the Sysmon and other tools, and those are also very important. Threat intel. So again, threat intel intelligence. So there are already pre-built IOCs. What I mean by IOCs is, I just forgot the full form. Uh, Compromise something in, I think investigation or wait, indicator. Okay, yeah. Indicator of compromise basically. Uh, Talking too much. Let me just have a sip of water. Yeah. Oh, so indicator of compromises. So there are already many more websites, or I can say uh, threat hunting, open source threat intelligence feeds, from where you can download all those indicator of compromise. You can even go to the MITRE framework. So people are like MITRE. So there are different versatilities speaking this MITRE framework. So in that you can check with the TTPs what technique, tactic, and procedures are, which will help you to understand what more advanced thing can be done or what more can be done to bypass it. And then there, like adversaries profile. Yeah. So for example, if you had an incident which was known to a particular group. For example, a dark army was able to compromise your organization in 2019. So there are probabilities that those organizations might even target you right now, because they know your organization was having a particular flaw or a particular technology stack, which is easy for them to generate a attack scenario. Then there is a vulnerability feed, then there is a context to guide your hypothesis and investigation. So all these things are something that we collect data, and then based on this we start with our investigation process. Just to give you some few of the open source and free threat intelligence feed, which I think are very good or very famous. So everyone might know about virus total. So if you subscribe to the virus total or create an account into the virus total, or even if you upload something on the virus total, you get to know, yes, there has been a particular threat intelligence that this malware was previously uploaded by someone onto something. So you can know like which antivirus was able to detect. So you can check into those antivirus, you can check into those indicators, like what can be used. For example, just for example, I will just share a screen with you. Let me just first find out any of the virus total file. Yeah, okay. So I will upload this one of the malware which I uploaded 4 or 5 days ago. This was done intentionally because we were checking a Rust packer. Basically, is a very well-known tool. When you create a malware for the red team purpose or adversary simulation purpose, that time you need to sign that malware. So we used to sign that malware using Rust Packer or different tools. So Rust Packer was one of the tool, and we got to know that Rust Packer is now having a very much high detection. So we just tested it out. So let me share another screen. There's something else. Okay. Is this visible? Okay. So moving to yeah, here when we uploaded the malware. So when I uploaded the malware detection ratio was 7% out of 70 antiviruses. But when I added a Rust packer into it, that time it went to 36%, which is bit more, or you can say it's high. And if you see here to you might, yeah, here in the sophos you can see here Rust pack hyphen d is added. So we use the Rust packer, and this have easily detected the Rust packer was the one. That's why the detection was possible. And when you're doing a threat hunting, at that time you can just check like what more and also here you can see the last analysis was done 4 days ago. At that time when I uploaded, actually date is also available. In this analysis you have this hash file, you have magic ratio, like whatever the extensions are, what it is using, how it was compiled, and all details, and what data they are having within those. And second is, yeah, not relation, I guess it was behavior. Yeah. So what we do, behavior category they have added, it's obfuscated, and they have added detect debug environment. Actually in the detection system here, yeah, here itself they used to label how you can mitigate or how you can detect this particular what do we say ransomware or the malware to be getting before getting executed. Here you can see the MITRE signatures which have been found. This we will see soon, not this good UI, but obviously the official UI of the MITRE. Here you can check the what are the behavior which were triggered, and based on these behaviors you can create your own detection mechanism, which can make you understand how we can check what are the different sort of different sort of bypasses that can be avoided in future. So if you are logging into virus total, then there are many people in the virus total community who will give you a heads up, yeah dude, use this IDS rule or use this sigma rule, and based on this you can just detect this particular organization or particular malware. Yeah, moving. So same in the threat hunting, as I say, Garuda can be implemented with your Gemini or with your local LLM system. For example, if you are having RTX base system, so you can use your RTX LLM, which is your locally hosted LLM. You can train that model for particular activity. Moving forward to what key takeaways can be taken. So just give me a second. Okay. So threat hunting is a proactive and not a reactive approach. It requires a mindset shift from assume also assume breach methodology need to be added into your mindset, and you need to question on everything. Whatever you feel it's suspicious, you need to question. Hunters work along with the SOC and incident response team to fill the critical gap which have been previously identified. And the success starts with a good data source and the right mindset. So we were actually discussing about the what are the open source threat intelligence feed. So one the which I am using from a very long time, that is the MISP, which is a malware information sharing platform. You can just Google about it, or just put it into the URL misp-project.org. You will be able to get all the detail. Even many organization government entities, yeah, or many paid entities use these platform. Then second one I can mention about the SANS Internet Storm Center, which is ISC, where they monitor many type of activities and try to track malicious network, try to track malicious threat actors signatures or the pattern. And then there is a very famous one, Alien Vault OTX, which is very much open source and which is used majorly for the IOCs, indicator of compromise, because it gives based after every 20-minute, 30-minute, there are new indicator of compromise available. There are new IP addresses which are published that those IP address belongs to a malware. So you can update with your um SIEM system or the defense system, and there you can patch it up. You can just block it up. Then there are many other, for example, guard or gray noise. All these, I think, after the session, I will put down into the uh, file and share it with the team, so team can provide these details with you. OpenFish is something I have previously very much worked on as a college time project, or not as a college time project, but as an internship project. And the Spam House project is also something that we use to collect the data, from multiple phishings and multiple blacklisted IPs. So not required every time that you will be having all the signatures into the list, but it is a highly possibilities that there are many blacklisted IPs which are connecting to your organization that you're not aware about. So those need to be also monitored. And also you need to check if your organization is not getting a blacklisted IP. So yeah, coming up to next. So we will just take a 2 minute of break. I will just fill up the water bottle. I will just get back here. If you have any question, you can just put it into the chat, and I will respond to it first before moving to the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Okay, good. Okay, I am back. Okay, let me check with the questions. Infra guard is not opening. Yes, infra guard will not open. So what you need to do is you will need to use a VPN for of either of US, or you can check if you have any friend in the US and you can ask him to sign up from his end or her end, and they can help you with the infra. Actually, infra guard was temporarily only available for US citizen. It was not meant for worldwide. It's going some energy. Okay, I am completely new to this, not getting it completely, but trying to understand. So whatever points you are having, like you are not able to understand, you can ask me. I might try. If you want me to explain some of the things in Hindi as well, I am comfortable with it. So you can just let me know. Threat hunting demo. The problem with the threat hunting demo is you will require another 2 to 3 hours to check like what things are done. So what I can do is I will share the link of the tool, which is Garuda framework, and you guys can use that Garuda framework. You can even watch the videos which are recently getting posted, and obviously I will also ask the Garuda framework developer to communicate with you guys over the either over his platform or either connect with the our team, Secured Bharat Group, so that will be also feasible. So for threat hunting, obviously, so when you are trying to do threat hunting, you should understand what are the threats. For that, you will either need offensive side of knowledge or defensive side of knowledge. So at least 1 year or 2 years of knowledge into SOC or into offensive is required. I have seen many people changing their career from offensive to defensive, and some people changing their career from defensive to offensive. So those experience are very much useful for threat hunting, because we need to think like a attacker, or we need to think like a defender, like how they can be mitigating it, how we can bypass it. Okay. Yeah. So I think there is a bit delay in YouTube and the live which I am doing. So I will just give you one more. Before starting with the MITRE, so I will just explain you one thing, that you need to understand how malware interact with your operating system in a different manner. So when there are different logs generated, you need to understand what activities will be happening, what logs will be getting generated. For example, for if you are executing any of the payload or file, that time a process activity is launched, which will create a new process, which will create a new process ID. So there is another tool, process hacker, which you can, if you know how to use it, or you can just Google or YouTube about it, how to use the process hacker, and from that also you can learn about it, and you can identify how the process are created, what process is created, what is the child process, what is the parent process, what registries were involved into this process and all. Same way, when the malicious file is dropped, that time of file system activity is triggered. For example, if attacker is trying to create a persistent, so many time it happens like attacker is able to create a malware which is getting bypassed and which is getting executed, but when he is trying to create a persistence, at that time it is getting caught. Persistence have also have different signature that can be triggered, and for example setting up the registry value or creating a particular like startup and all, those things can be monitored. Then network activity, you can check if there is any covert communication going on to any of the unknown network or IP, to download any file or to exfiltrate the data. You can also check with the load modules, which is like load different type of DLL, which are malicious for your system. And there are many kernel code injection and all the process, which means like if you want a very good threat hunting, you need to have all the tools, like many more uh, threat hunting open source knowledge or list, like from where you will be gathering all the details. As I mentioned, like there are ton of them: Alien Vault, InfraGuard, and all Cisco and all those. So you can check upon those. You can create your infra. You can create a whole lot of automation that can help you a lot. Moving next, yeah. So just a question to you all guys. So if like uh, if the MITRE attack framework was a weapon, the best single metaphor that I can use is a Swiss Army knife. Why Swiss Army knife? Because Swiss Army knife is having multiple tool set within it. My editing is very bad. Like whatever logo I have added here, it doesn't look that good. But yeah, so attack is a modular and a multi-purpose thing. Same like a Swiss Army knife. It contains multiple and many tools. You can, when I say tools, you can take it as a technique. You can pick for a different purpose. It might be for initial access. It might be for persistence. It might be for lateral movement. It might be for data exfiltration. So you have a bunch of tools already mentioned. You have bunch of signature already present. So you can try to bypass those signature, and you can try to execute those. So it is designed for a strategical behavior rather than a script kiddie behavior. So majority time, a script kiddie can be getting detected at a SOC level itself, if the SOC is that much of mature. Sorry. So whenever you are doing a red team activity, whenever you are doing a threat hunting, you need to choose your tools in a right manner or wisely, I may say. You This is useful for both actually attackers as well to plan a tradecraft, and also for the defenders to like detect or get prepared for the detection or monitoring. Yeah, so this knife is a same manner. Like you can use this knife for mechanical purpose or surgical purpose, or in a very different any of the scenario. In the same way, Maitre is something that can be used in such a manner. Okay. So just to start with this thing, so let you know Maitre, like the original story of the Maitre, I will say. So in the back 2013, I guess, yeah, 14, 13, I guess, a research group called Maitre was running this adversaries emulation experiment within their network, and they wanted to know how attacker behave once the attacker is within their lab or their network. So what they did was, so instead of just looking at malware or exploit, they started mapping out the behavior. So what are the steps that are taken by the attackers after he is getting the initial access? And even they margin or they noted what was the way that the attackers were able to create the initial access. That's how attack have been born. ATT and CK, which is adversarial tactic, technique, and common knowledge. Yeah, that's how this was born. And it was never about any signature, or it was never about any particular behavioral detection and all. It was moreover about open to the ideas, open to the data, and from where people can relate, okay, this particular things will happen with us. So MITRE is something which is most comprehensive knowledge base to the adversary tactics and the techniques built from real world observation. Think of it as a universal playbook for you, which can be used by attacker and which can also be used by defenders. Common language, standardized terminology for defenders worldwide to communicate about threat. So there is another thing. There is a defend Mitre as well, and this is attack Mitre. So defend Mitre was created, I think, recently in the last 2 years something, but attack Mitre was created in 2014 or 13 something. It allows you to map the real adversary behavior to a specific technique. So you can map out how the attack was run, or you can see a flow chart was generated. So continuously updated attacks are mentioned in this MITRE framework, which you can correlate with your infrastructure. So uh, sorry. Mm. Each column of the MITRE, so when you will see actual MITRE graph, so you might see there is initial access, there is data exfiltration, there is persistence and all. That will look like a matrix to you. Each column will be representing a tactic. You can consider it as a goal or a objective. For example, when we are doing a red team activity, that time we have an objective that we need to compromise a particular server, or we need to compromise their PIM-PAM server, or we need to do a perimeter breach, or we need to do a data exfiltration, or bypass their EDR, XDR, or security controls. So those are the objectives. So when we say threat actors, so threat actors have a simple objective that we want to leak the data, we want the financial data, we want to put the ransomware into the infrastructure and our demand for the ransom. So that's the tactics. In simple term, tactics is equal to goal or the objective, and each row under that column represents a technique, that how that particular objective or the goal was or is achieved. So one thing is, I want to attack, but how I want to attack? I want to perform a brute force, I want to perform a particular activity that is defined into the technique. And procedure are something like what are the ways, or what are the different sort of ways we can do process, we can complete this technique. So first column, you might say initial access, where techniques here shown like how attackers get in. Second column, you can see in the website, like there is a execution tab, how they run their payload or what method they use. And then further on, persistence, privilege escalation, defense evasion, exfiltration, and XYZ thing, all the way till the impact. It is a full kill chain, but a behavioral enriched. Okay. So sorry. So together, TTPs create a layered framework that moves from strategic intent down to operational execution, which giving hunters a structured way to think about adversary behavior at their level. So at this point, you get to understand, like this is the activity that attacker can perform via a particular method. Okay. Moving forward, this is the matrix which I was talking about actually. Yeah. So this is the matrix that you will be able to see. Actually, this is the screenshot of MITRE navigator, which we will look in few minutes. So initial access is something that everyone look, entry vector like phishing or putting up the exploitation of public facing applications, which is a very common. Then there is a execution, like executing malicious code after getting into the system. Then creating a persistence, like what in what manner we can be persistent by using the bootkits, by using different logon scripts, basically creating a scheduler and all those things. Give me a minute. Yeah, I was not able to see the live chat actually. uh, okay, so actually I have missed lot many chats. I will just read those once. Is Splunk free or paid? Obviously, it's a high resource utilization paid one. Splunk might have the free version. I'm not sure because we don't use Splunk as such. Oh, basic. This was done. That okay. Speaker talking about which tool? At what point you were asking me? Can you just give me a background so that I can tell you? Okay, Swiss Army knife tool. Okay, best example for MITRE attack. Yeah, the reason why I added the MITRE attack framework for a Swiss Army, because Swiss Army has a different set of tool and it can be used for different purposes. Same, MITRE has a different set of data which can be used for different purpose, which you will see in the upcoming slide. How you can use it for detection, how you can use it for monitoring, how you can use it for defending, and how you can use it for also attacking a particular infrastructure. Yeah, Wazoo is one of the free SIEM tool. Yeah, so that is what we use in our like own in-house environment. There is another ELK as well, which you can also check. And for to create the alerts, you can use the Atomic, which is also open source, which can be helpful. And if you want to do the purple team activity, there is another tool. I just forgot the name. It's a four-letter tool which can be used, which actually maps the whole MITRE and everything for you. Yeah. So moving forward to defense evasion, like if there are any obfuscation or like creating a different services out of it, we can bypass those defense by using different type of malware, using hook chain methods and all. Then after defense evasion, there are more thing before coming up to the exfiltration. So what we do after getting a persistent access, or we might say initial foothold, we go dig more and more. That what we call it as a lateral movement. We try to dump credential if the user multiple users are logging into the jump server. We try to check those. We try to do the privilege escalation, and from that we are able to log in into someone. We try to perform a particular activity. It might be SMB accessing the SMB. Sometimes people store the SOPs, structure operating procedure, into the shared drive. Sometimes people upload their resume. Sometimes people upload their invoices, or many times I have seen offer letters are also being held into the shared drive, which can be accessed by higher level user. Same way, the credentials can be gathered either by a dumping from those shared drives, or either by checking into browser storage, or either by using any exploit or payload tool that can be used to dump the credentials from LSAS, or maybe from different process. Then there is a discovery, like what more network are into the same infra, or what domain are aligned with the particular organization. And then there is a lateral movement where you exploit services like performing attack like pass the ticket, remotely transferring the files, And then there is something called collection for data exfiltration, capturing particular incident or keeping the camera on, trying to compromise the CCTVs, trying to keep the laptop or the system camera open and the audio mic open so that you can listen to the recording and later on put it into the report. Then there is a command and control server which will also check like how how you can access the servers internally by doing different sort of level of proxying, or you can say forwarding the ports. And then the final what we do is the exfiltration of the data, either via the cloud platform, either via a particular software, or hosting it to the website itself if it's a web server. And then we give them the impact, like what was the total impact for your organization. For example, they can get defame, they can get penalty because there are very much client data or sensitive data which can be leaked publicly, and many more. This metrics flow is something like goes from left to rightward, mirroring the adversary's progress and from gaining access to achieving their mission and objective. Each column will represent a tactic, each cell will represent the technique. Yeah, so before we jump to this, let's jump to practical, like we can use the attack navigator here. Let me just check attack navigator. I hope. I think it's been 3 or 4 months. I have used the Attack Navigator. It should not change its UI, or it might be complex for me to explain. Okay. Until it's loading, let's take a time. I think it's not loading. Have they moved Attack Navigator to somewhere else? The MITRE Attack Navigator is not loading at my end. Guys, can you just check mitre-attack.github.io/attack-navigator? Is it working for you guys? It's not loading for me. Can you just confirm into the chat? URL you can just Google or just put in as a MITRE Attack Navigator. Okay, it's accessible. Okay, let me just check with the Brave browser. Maybe it's not working on my uh, Firefox. Nope, it's not working for me. Give me a minute. Mm. Okay, it's not working for me, and even okay, it's working in Google Chrome. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, yeah, it's working in the Google Chrome. Thank you so much. I will just share the Chrome. Sorry for this inconvenience. Actually, it was working fine till now. And let me share. Okay. Windows share. Is it visible? Can anyone confirm? It's okay. So yeah. So when we are creating this, okay, before starting with the this thing, we can just go to the MITRE attack first. The reason why, because before taking an understanding of this, you can't directly go to the navigator. Okay, so there are different type of attack matrix. One is for the enterprise, which we majorly use. Other are present for mobile and ICS. So here, when we say enterprise, this is the normal infrastructure that you will be able to find. So everything, each and every. So even if you want to start your career into cybersecurity or into pen testing, then you can start with attack MITRE as well. Because if you want to do a particular scanning activity, you can just click here. I think my internet got slow. Okay. Yeah. You can go to the scanning activity and you will find a detail about it. Like what are the sub techniques that you can use for scanning? Like for example, we can say we want to do scanning the IP blocks. It will give you a list like what can be done. Or adversary may scan IP in order to gather network information. This is T1590, which you can see in the link. And here, like in the mitigation section, here already the details are given. So the G in the procedure example, the G is something called group. S is something called software. Software are something that you can utilize for particular activity. For example, just moving forward for privilege escalation, maybe. For example, in privilege escalation, if we go to any sub technique called temporary elevated cloud access. I think for cloud, I think there is no GS. Wait, let me check with the process injection. Yeah, so here you can see C as a campaign, S as a software. Here, these are the software that can be used. G is something called groups, APT groups. APTs have their own created, what we say, pre-existing MITRE navigator, which you can understand how the exactly the attack was performed. For example, you can go to this or you can just click on view. So what did this do exactly? APT30 also is like suspected to be Vietnam-based threat group, which is active from 2014. How they perform a particular attack, how a particular organization was compromised. So whatever here you are seeing in the highlighted format, in the blue format, starting from they gathered victim identity information, they gathered email, and after gathering the email, they sent a phishing spear phishing link, which was a targeted, and from that they got domain details, or they might have got web services detail, which then triggered provided them more and more it was helpful for like establish account via social media, or tools were installed. Then drive by target, which is like a website containing multiple detail about it. They uploaded the malware into the system, which are already highlighted. This way you can create a structure like these are the things. And when you want to investigate, basically this is either created by the red teamers, either created by the purple teamers. When this is already generated, what you have to go, what you have to do is go to the this particular section which was email. My internet is not working or something like that. I'm unable to click, but okay, we will do it manually. Uh, let's go back to the attack. Then what was that? Information gathering, victim identity information. In that, you can see there was a sub technique of email address. In this, you can see they have mentioned the AD internal, which is basically not useful in this case, but this is used in inside the network when you are within the infrastructure. So you can use these technique what they have written provided, and when you go to the procedures of these particular technique tactic, in that you will be able to find like what tool need to be used, and you when you check about those tools, you get to know how it will provide you the detail. For example, this software was AD internals. Let's click on this. You went to this software. Here it says AD internal is a PowerShell based framework for administering enumeration and exploiting Azure Active Directory. The tool is publicly available on the GitHub, and here you can find the GitHub links which can be used, and how to use that is a part from which you can learn from the readme or find from the maybe from YouTube and all other where this tool was used for which technique and all, everything is written here. So gathering the information regarding the victim from modifying the registry, which group used it very previously, like after attack mitre was generated created, then which another group used this. And even if you want to detect this particular AAD logs, then there is different mitre wala thing. AAD is not by default you know uh, blacklisted tool. It's a tool which can be utilized by many system administrative people for good purpose, but attacker use it for a bad purpose. Here are the mitigations which are provided, which you can just click and you can read the mitigation. Like you can remove the mitigation which you have already applied, and whichever are remaining you can add those into your infrastructure by telling it to the SOC or the administrative team. Same way detection, you have to check if the detection of email was provided by either from the network, either from the breach data. Then you might need to take any additional service that can help you to remove all those data. Yeah, APT stands for Advanced Persistent Threat. It needs less resource than Ozu, which needs less resource. Splunk, it has a free version also. Oh, okay. Web-based interface. Previously, it was free, but I was not sure. Like after launching this many years, and they are progressing from long time, if they might have made it paid or added some finance into it. Same way, you can in this manner you understand like what process they followed, what things they were able to identify. For example, in the from the WMI exec, which is Windows Management Instrumentation, they were able to upload some files. But where they were able to upload, maybe into one of the Windows services. It might be the SMB as well. I think this screen is visible. Should I zoom? So if you want to do any modification into it, you can. Okay, I can't do modification because they have blocked this. But in your when you will create for yourself, so there is an option. Let's do one thing. Let's download this itself. Where did I downloaded this? Okay, so let's go to APT32. And from Attack Navigator, you can download the file. After the JSON file is downloaded, you can go to the Attack Navigator, open existing layer, and you can upload from local. And wait, I will, I don't know if it's visible to you or not. Let me check the path. Okay. Yeah, I am opening this file. I hope this is. Layers control. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So remove all this thing. So we particularly are looking for Windows based, or what we can do initially, it's everything about network or the office suites where the data was shared. So if you are targeting specifically for uh, network devices for your threat hunting, so you can target it here. You can even put a color grading. You can just put a different sort of colors into this. And you can just say show. Then if you want to, I don't know what my browser is doing. It just got stuck. Okay. So here you can add another color as well. You can just put different formation into this color. Huh, my net is not working that good. Okay, I won't waste my time over this MITRE framework, but I can record a session after restarting my laptop, and I will record and provide it to you that how you can use the attack method, or I can provide you the YouTube video which already has uh, a detailed scenario how this can be helpful for the threat hunting or for the offensive purpose. So it's just stuck. Okay, let's move with the MITRE this thing what we were framework here. When you come to the matrices of enterprise, so you have seen there are different tactics. For example, your goal is doing reconnaissance. Then what techniques you can use are here, and what are the procedures are here. Like you need to use this thing, you need to use that software, or you need to use that methodology. Everything will be mentioned here. For example, we have already been compromised, and then there is something called supply chain, or let's take something very easy, which is Wi-Fi network, which everyone is aware about. So in Wi-Fi network, we use a technique by which we were able to compromise the enterprise network via Wi-Fi. Where is Wi-Fi? It was just here. Right? Okay. So in that you have the mitigation that you have to do all this thing. You have to add the multi-factor authentication. You have to create a network segmentation. Then there is a detection. So mitigation is also important and detection is also important, because detection will allow you to prevent another sort of attack. If you want a particular signatures, if you want to check with a particular event, you can come to the analytical data, which is just at the detection strategy. Analytical IDs are present where you can just click on this and you will get what event log you need to check for. Other, even if you guys are using, for example, Linux, then for Linux also what you can check, where it can check, you have all that data. There is something called defend MITRE framework as well. Yeah, MITRE defend framework. Yes, here it is. For SOC purpose or SIEM purpose, this is also good, but this have many more modules. So in attack, we had a process, what we called it as reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, and all those in the side manner. Same way we have it for the defense matter, defend MITRE, where you have to check the asset inventory, you have to map out the network, you have to check with the activities, you have to map the system, what level of data they are exchanging. Then you to need to do the hardening. How you can do the biometric hardening? You can just check inside this. How you can do the application level hardening? You can check inside this. Particularly if you are looking for credential harvesting patching, you can go to the, so for example, credential rotation. Sorry, I just clicked on certificate pinning. Click is not working on the Chrome. Okay, anyway, when we are on certificate pinning, it will give you the description, what is it, how it works, what are the ways, and how you can block it or you can prevent it. There is one or the other way. Sorry, not this one. Let me take one of the something that you can investigate at your end. That can be operating system monitoring, which we previously spoke about. Yeah. So in this, you have a different defense technique that have been added. I think this website is not fully functional, or my browser is messing up. But yeah. So in this, you can say different type of detection technique. Like what can be done. What are the scheduled job execution? You can check with the auto run analysis. If you click here, both are the same. Both will be the same. In this, you can see what are the analysis, what are the technique that are used, and how you can defend it. In same way, you can process multiple creations. You can check the references as well. But defend MITRE is, I think it's in the development process, so we won't go as such. But whatever helpful it can be, you can refer these as well. Let's move to the slides, as we have actually majorly wasted our time on the framework. The reason why I am saying wasted, because I was not able to successfully provide you the whole detail because of some functionality issue. Let's go to the PowerPoint. Yeah. Moving forward, like from framework to hypothesis. So threat hunters can weaponize their attack path by turning techniques into testable hypothesis, which you can take it from the references, which you can take it from the, you can just take whatever the descriptions are, then you can put it over the Google, internet, and you can get how exactly you need to be attacked. Instead of waiting for alerts, and hunters ask, like, if adversaries use technique X, what evidence will exist in our environment? That can also be checked via MITRE attack framework. For example, data exfiltration was done. In that data exfiltration, you can check upon like what logs we will be able to see. We will be able to see network log. We will be able to see command log. So where it will be present, all those things are mentioned into the defense or the attack MITRE mitigation section. Then like select a target, select a technique, choose based on the threat intel, industry trend. What we said was the enterprise. Then identify the data source, like what log you will be getting from where, it might be system. Then craft the hypothesis. This, I believe adversaries are using T1053.005, which is a scheduled task for persistence, which we talked earlier, like creating a automation of particular activity. Then build the detection logic, like query, like to check with the persistence or to check with the scheduled task, what event do I need to check? Then you get to know from the attack MITRE that you have the event number 4698 that you need to be checked. So this will make your things easy. This will make your organization pass forward into your investigation. Then execute the hunt, analyze the result, like what you were able to find, was really it was done, or was it a bluff, or was it some false alert. Moving forward to coverage mapping, known your blind spot. So smart screen security team map their detection rules to attack technique, creating a heat map that reveals coverage gap where you have no detection, adversary have free reign. What you can do is the best part, rather than using the online one, I don't know, it was issue with me or you guys might also face the same. You can there is a GitHub link which I will share you, which you can deploy it your end on the locally, and locally you can host it, and there you can create the whole attack technique and MITRE framework. In that you can find like what things are covered, what things have been patched, how many things are remaining as per the attack MITRE. That is a strategic planning tool. Prioritize hunting and detection engineering where you are blind. So majority time what we have seen across, every time when we update the MITRE, the percentage drops down, because that keeps us aware that there are new attack techniques, there are new methods are getting introduced into the infrastructure. Moving forward to the tools that bring attack to life, yes, attack navigator, which we spoke about, interactive metrics for visualizing coverage, planning hunts, and annotating technique with custom metadata. I will share you the whole video of it, which will be very helpful to generate the attack navigator. Then Threat Hunter Playbook, which is an open source hunting scenario as well. I think there are some labs available on the TryHackMe as well regarding the Threat Hunter Playbook, where they have already provided you the assumption, like this is the assumption and you have to do the hunting, what logs you will be looking, where you will be looking, and what how you will be investigating. Then SIEM integration by default, like modern platforms that have like for SIEM have this alert system. So you might have heard this terminology, next generation firewall. What's in the next generation firewall? Next generation firewalls has a feature of generating alerts, which your normal firewall doesn't were not having at that time. That's why they added it as a next generation firewall. So those tools make attack actionable, transforming a massive framework into practical workflow for daily hunting operations. What next? So hunt time we are going to skip as of now, because it's again another three, I mean more 2 hours of storyline which we need to stretch up. So till now, what we have understood is the attack structure and purpose. You can use based on the tactics, your goals. You can use the techniques, and to understand to perform that particular technique, what tools you will be required. That you can find into the procedures, and in the procedures and in the tactic, there you can find the mitigation and the detection system, where you can create a rule for them to mitigate and you sorry to detect, and where you can create a patch as well to mitigate from it. How TTPs create a common language? Yes, we can create multiple TTPs by ourselves, but for that you will require a lot of experience. TTPs are something that you need to create a method, you need to create a hunting strategy which is unique from everyone else. Mapping attack techniques, we looked after that. Building hypothesis from the framework, which we have spoke verbally, but practically we were not able to perform it. Then the next part, what I was going to give you was a real world hunt scenario walkthrough. Basically, how real world things are happening, but without navigator, it will be tough job to do this. So we will not performing that. Live query example and analysis, that will require another system, whole bunch of logs as well. Then build a repeated hunt program, which is same from the playbook you can look after. Metric that matter for threat hunting, that's the same what I spoke about. Every time you do the hunting, the metrics will be getting changed, because new techniques will be getting added until and unless you are not updating the MITRE framework. Cool. Wait a second, let me check if there is something very much important that need to be covered within the uh, is okay. Yeah, let me check. Yeah, this is something that I know you guys should look after. Red team to threat hunter. The reason why I said team to threat hunter is simple, that my experience brought a new perspective, not a new perspective, but a broader perspective for threat hunting, or even for the purple team, I may say. So just to give you an overview about red team activity. So red team activity is something that you need to do based on the objective. So whatever the objective the organization might set, the objective which I've mentioned previously, maybe data exfiltration, maybe doing the perimeter breach and XYZ thing. So you have to keep the objective in the mind and you have to do the attack. For example, the organization which are into financial sector, they want to keep their clients data or the users data safely. So they will ask you, the objective is to leak the users data. So you will be, as a red teamer, you will be started doing the enumeration phase. You will be doing all bunch of things, and then you will try to find some vulnerability that will give you the users information. If you might be aware that yesterday itself there was a S3 bucket leaked, which was giving the detail of Aadhaar card and PAN card, and some of the attacker or the threat actors have downloaded or currently downloading the data, but we are Indian team is not currently in the phase of execution or understanding if it has been leaked from which particular API key or the S3 bucket. They have contacted with the Amazon service team, which will help them to possibly investigate how the data is getting leaked. Same way, we have to think like an attacker. We have to check with the web archive. We have to check with the bunch of tools, and then we have to start with the attack scenario. Understanding the detection gap, like as we do in the multiple red team, we know that some tools, for example ping castle is not a very famous tool in pen testing, but ping castle can be used for gathering the information. I don't know how many of you are aware about ping castle, but ping castle can literally map out your infrastructure SMB service, RDP, what computer names are in your infrastructure, and all those details without generating an alert, because this tool was totally new and it was totally developed with a different, I think, Go language, and a different internal calls were utilized. Let me just check with the chats if someone is a member of the red team, does he have to hide his identity? So I will just tell you the scenario how I do, or else let me just open up another PPT which has the details. Give me a minute. Let me just complete this threat hunter scenario, and then I will take max to max 10 minutes and I will close it up. So predict next move. This is something that has been helping Purple team, that we are able to predict. For example, we got to know that yes, right now there was a LSAS dump performed. That means we know now next step will be utilizing those hashes to access RDP, or trying to use hashes, and that way we create alerts and mitigation tactics. Majority time these our intentions are to make sure that rather than making attacker feel that he is getting blocked, to move his attack part to the honeypot, so that attacker will be busy into the honeypot. Like he might be thinking that he might have compromised the whole infrastructure, he is going inside, he might have the false data, genuine data, but it's totally a false data what we put into the honeypot. And more the attacker stays into the honeypot, more and more we are able to investigate how attacker is performing, who is the attacker, from where the uh, connection is getting established, where exactly the things went wrong, and what the attacker have done till now. So these are the benefits that I can say. And moving to collaborative force multiplier. Yeah, this thing I think we have already spoken. Collaboration, the force multiplier, like SOC, analyst, threat hunter, incident response, they collaborate with each other, and that gives you the proper what we say collaboration force multiplier, which will help your organization. Second thing, wait here, just okay. Now it's visible. So the future of threat hunting, yes, AI assisted threat hunting is something that is going uh, very vast, which is getting implemented a lot. And nowadays we have also started implementing AI based reconnaissance, which is actually decrease like decrease 20% of what we say efforts for reconnaissance or continuous monitoring for red team activity. Same for the threat modeling also, or the threat hunting as well. We have created multiple MCP servers which help us to hunt more and more based on the logs. Automated playbook is something that can be used by multiple organizations based on the experience. There are multiple open source automated playbook which can be used by folks in their organizations to at least depend from the known or not very known, but at least known attacks, which are already mentioned in books somewhere. Cloud native hunting is a very new cloud hunting technique for multi-cloud environment, even for the hybrid model as well. So the way I told you that we will check the system, we will check these logs and those logs, it doesn't apply for the cloud native. It's a totally different. The logs, path log, what type of log, what need to be enabled to generate the logs, those are totally different scenario. And I am also not that familiar with cloud native hunting. Moving next to okay. Yeah, the key takeaway basically in this session, hypothesis driven. You have to start with clear, testable assumption based on the threat intelligence and the attack framework. Second, data is the foundation. The more and more data you have, not just the more, but valuable and the important data you have, the more and more effective your hunting will be. The more and more your infrastructure will be safe. Iterate and improve, document the finding, refine the technique, and continuously enhance the detection capabilities. For example, you people might be aware about mimikatz. Many of the people know mimikatz is very easily detectable, but there are still adversaries who are using mimikat by modifying into the code or modifying into the hashes, and they are able to still bypass. Collaborate always. So work closely with the SOC team and the incident response team to create the cohesive defensive strategies. Ask them like what was their learning from one of the incident alert, or if in case they think there was a false alert, so ask them that if we are free or if we have time, can we check that alert, can we try to confirm if that alert was false positive or not. Adversary mindset, think like an attacker to anticipate their moves and to find them before they strike. That's the very main objective. The reason the companies who are having their own security control offices, they try to hire the pen testers or the attacking mindset people so that they can have a better SOC team. For example, if you might be knowing Kiran Kumar Subudhi, who was currently he's again into the offensive side, but previous to that he was working into one of the organization in the as a SOC team member, and it really helped him to create a new strategies for the SOC, and then he again came back to the into offensive security because he was much interested into offensive, because in the SOC and in the defensive, the more and more involvement of commercial tools are heavy, as well as open source tools are allowed, but commercial tools and heavy tools are used widely. Embrace the evolution, stay current with emerging threat tools and automation. That's why I will share you a list of what we say, bunch of tools or the URLs from where you can gather the threat intelligence. You can know what currently new malware are, what currently new sophisticated attacks are, and you can mitigate your own organization. Okay, so one thing that I told you that I will be showing you, that was a red team deck which I have created for one of my presentation. Give me a second. Okay, till that, while I am searching for the deck, I will just, okay, I got the deck. Okay, till that, I will just check with the questions what you have added. This is fine. Oops, this might be weak. Okay. So, yes, so until you are into an engagement, you have to keep your identity hidden. So usually what happens, you will be given authority letter. So in case, or authorization letter will be provided to you. In case you are getting caught, you can give the authorization letter, or your SPOC will be given a particular code that you have to tell that based on this particular code, you have been compromised, or someone from their team have caught you. Ping Castle, not Ping Castle. It's a PING. Ping Castle is the name of the tool. We are enjoying, sir. This is a very insightful session. Kindly take your time to explain. Actually, yeah, I will love to explain, but we don't have that much of useful resource that I can share right now with you guys. It will be taking time consuming to uh, utilize and create whole MITRE framework and all those things to do the practical. Oh, okay. Will AI-based threat hunting will take the job? No, dude. AI obviously can't take the job. The reason I will tell you simply, there was Exbo AI. I don't know how many of you are aware about this Exbo AI. So Exbo AI is the number one in on HackerOne platform. That AI have till now, that AI have performed many bug bounties, many target that AI have submitted the data. And after submission, many people were obviously liking that AI. But when you go and check the cost of that AI, you will be amazed that these organizations who are mid-size, who are large size, they can't even afford that AI, because that AI literally cost around 15 CR per year, and that also it will give you around 30 scan only, and that also it won't even calculate the retest scan. Actually, we also asked for the Exbo, but after listening to the price and after checking, it's not worth. We were like, yeah, the manual method is much, and obviously AI is very far behind. But yes, for your strategies, open source AI and other thing you can utilize. You can utilize your skills with the AI. You can learn from the AI. You can train your own model. You can create your own MCP server, which can help more and more to your investigation, and that way you might stay ahead from your other team member. Okay, I have found the okay, yeah, I have found this thing. So when I say red team, I will just share the screen if possible. I will just take last 10 minutes. By 9:30, I will try to wrap this up. Mm, Just let me know when the screen is visible. Yeah, I think now it's visible. Okay. Give me a second. Now it will be much visible. Okay. So moving forward, I won't waste your time in this thing. Okay. So, if you guys are totally new to this pen testing, red team, bug bounty, so this image might be no, critical for you to understand. So pen testing is something that is particularly done on a particular scope, whereas bug bounty is something that is also given in a particular scope, but bug bounty has a different angle. There you have to use different set of data. In pen testing, either it can be black box, it can be gray box, it can be white box. You will be provided with those particular data. But sometime it is possibility for bug bounty, you might use the data which was available on the dark web. For example, someone's credential, and that can be reported into the bug bounty as well. Like accessing particular data or finding any vulnerability that is related to the particular scenario. Red team is something that covers majority of the thing. The reason why, because each and everything is within the scope. It might be the website, it might be your mobile application, it might be your company asset, it might be the company employee as well. Even company ISP, the CCTVs, dark web data, phishing, everything is involved. Whereas in pen testing, phishing, dark web, and all those are ignored. Whereas in bug bounty as well, phishing and other things are ignored. So yeah, red team is also a proactive security strategy that simulate real world cyber attack to identify like what vulnerabilities are there and how we can change those multiple vulnerability and test the effectiveness of the security of the organization. By using the TTPs, we TTPs of malicious threat actors, which have been previously famous, like APTs 32, 34, APT. Many of the APTs are there. Many groups like Sandworm and all. So we can try to mimic their same attacks and perform into the organization. If the client's objective is that, if the client objective is to have a different set of scenario and focus on a particular objective, then we can do that as well. So the adversary mindset is same. What I can exploit? Who is the weakest link? Patience, stealth, and creativity. If you check in the threat hunting, what we talked was totally same. Attacker will be having the patience. That way, not every time the logs will be generated. Stealthiness. Not every time your AV or antivirus or EDR will able to detect. Creativity. Attacker might be using a particular time range where the already the peak employees are working. At that time, he might be moving. But how you will identify the particular network segment? So all these things are kept into your mind, and we like motivation varies. Like if it's a financial activism, defacement, fun, or anything. Persistence until objective is achieved. So, as the question was asked by one of the member, like, is if someone is the red team member, does he have to hide his identity? Yes. Persistence of your payload of your own need to be hidden until the objective is achieved. In case, for example, so there are also strategies of multi-objective red team, which is like first you have to compromise external application, second you have to do the perimeter breach, third you have to get inside the building, fourth you have to connect compromise the Wi-Fi. This way also there are objectives. In case you are able to compromise application, the second you are not able to do the perimeter breach, but you are able to get inside the building. So you can just put it into the remark. Yeah, I was not able to do this thing. For example, you are not able to get inside the building. Try to find a way. If you are not, then ask the client that we are not able to get inside the building. We tried for 3 or 4 days. We tried from this method, that method, but it didn't work out. So we are asking for assume breach scenario where we will be already inside your building, and then the objective will be again listed at fail, and then you will be mentioning a note that yes, we were provided access, internal access by the spot, as we were not able to achieve the objective of getting inside the building, and then we can move forward with whatever the other objectives are, like performing any activity until the SOC team is not aware. So only the SPOC will be the person who will be taking you inside and will be speaking with you. He will also, like, you have to make sure you keep it distance with it. So many things, as you read, as you learn, you will be able to understand. So yeah, as I said, there are multiple objectives in the red team. perimeter, like external data leak, perimeter breach, physical security bypass, active directory compromise, asset theft. Asset theft is something that I really like. It's like taking away their one of the asset. It might be laptop, it might be pen drive, it might be hardware, or sometime it might be their files, which is stored by accounts team or any other team, which is very confidential, either confidential or important. Then high value target, then CCTV compromise. When I say high value target, those are more over like a admins or either C-level executive or managers, which are having more privileges. Warehouse, document theft, bank locker, etc., etc. So those are the thing. And for the red team, we usually use this methodology, which is unified kill chain, which is a combination of Lockheed Martin and multiple kill chain, including the MITRE attack. Okay, someone question, but why, sir? Is it unethical? No, it's not unethical. It's a part of your job. The objective is already provided that you have to do this activity. If everyone is aware about that particular activity, then everyone will act to be secure. For example, if everyone is aware that phishing simulation will be done, no one will click on the link, no one will open the email, even though email are official. When the activity is done in a silent manner, that time no one will expect that there is a phishing link, and the person will try to click, person will try to fill the data, and that's how you get the real data. That's how you get to know if your organization is ready for the particular phase. Then yeah, these are so the red team which I mentioned uh, here, which has a very big methodology like getting in, through, and then out. So in the simplified manner, we can just say in the 5 steps: setting up a goal, target reconnaissance, exploiting the vulnerability or security holes, then escalating the privileges, and then reporting it to the client. And okay, this is the very good thing that I found in this PPT. So the same data what red teamers are trying to find: organization details, IP ranges, ASN, then open ports and services, employee details, then cloud assets, WAF, firewall, domains, web application, third party SaaS application, dark web data breaches, origin IP, location on the map. All these are important. You guys might feel like when you used to say reconnaissance, you used to look for the web application, you might used to look for the cloud asset, you might used to look for the WAF, open ports and all. But when it comes to red team, we consider third party SaaS application, we consider dark web and dark data breaches, we consider origin IPs, we consider location map, we consider organization detail and employee details, WAF and all those things. So there, that's why we say there is a difference between the mindset of a penetration tester, a bug bounty hunter, and a red team member. In same manner, there is a difference between SOC mindset. There is a difference between incident response team. There is a different mindset between threat hunter. That's why all are important. Okay, so I think we will just finish wrap this up. I will go to another slide. Yeah. Uh, okay. So, yep, I think we are concluding this session here. So, thank you everyone to staying we had till late, and let's discuss like whatever question you are having related to cyberspace or threat intel or red team. See, right now I am in the red team, but I am doing the projects of purple team as well. So I have got the privilege to work under threat intelligence as well. I have got privilege to work with the SOC as well for detection and all. So, like whatever the discussion you want to do regarding your environment or any challenge that you are facing regarding pen testing, it might be red team or anything. You can just let me know. And yeah, I will give last 5 minutes for you guys to question. In case there are no questions, then we can close this up. Okay, yeah. So there are some questions getting dropped down. I think it's done. So the black hats can't do it. It's done with the consent. Yes, understand. Okay. So how can fresher get a job as a SOC analyst? What's the roadmap? If you literally see, if you're trying to go into the SOC or the defense background, so you just have to minimal information about Windows. What are the Windows event? What will be your strategy for if there is any compromise, or how you will check the logs? The best thing, what I will say, in your resume, add about the open source uh, SIEM and other softwares, Wazoo and all, is XDR and all. Put those, create a threat intelligence report or create an investigation report from the open source playbooks which are available. Put it into your resume that you have done this sort of investigation and all, and you can easily get. If you are talking about any particular certification, I can't help you with that. So I'm not aware as such for the SOC what certifications are required. But what I will say, as per my experience, certifications won't matter until and unless you have a practical, hands-on experience, also within your live environment, your home environment. That will be fair enough. What's the difference between red team penetration tester and threat hunter? Threat hunter is totally opposite of penetration tester and red teamer. So red teamer works on objective base, whereas penetration testing work on scope. So when I say objective base, again, company will define you the goal that you have to compromise the Wi-Fi. Whereas penetration testing, they will be like, we have 5 Wi-Fi, you have the scope Wi-Fi as a two only. So you have to test on two. Penetration testing has limitation. Red team doesn't have any limit. You can do whatever activity you want. You can try different type of phishing. You can try to do the pre-texting, which is like talking with employees and trying to get some detail. You can clone the ID card. You can create a fake ID. You can try to get inside the building. You can, after getting inside the building, you can mimic as you are a vendor person, and you can do lot many things. In that way, there is a whole lot different. Threat hunter will try to find red teamers or adversaries at least. Threat hunter will moreover think like, okay, red teamer is inside the infrastructure, so what we can do, even though if he is present or not present. So that's a basic generic I can say. Sir, is red team knowledge is compulsory for some? No, no as such. SOC, you don't need red team knowledge, but you should be aware about the terminologies, but not at a high level, but at a very basic level. Network security, yes, network security as such, you don't have to be. So basically, I will tell you what SOC does is. So SOC has already a lot many systems implemented, which gives you an alert. What you have to do, you have to check those alert if those are alert false positive or true positive. How you will check? You have to check the event ID. You have to check how why it was generated, and you need to check ask the person if that particular activity was performed by you or not. If there is a high level alert, then obviously it need to be quarantined. It need to be reported to the team. Incident response team is something after incident is happened, or during the incident is happening. That time they will try to minimize the impact. So there is a whole lot of difference. Yeah, you need a basic knowledge of each and every profile, but not at a high end. So then how can I start my journey as a red team professional? So as I said, so before starting with the red team, you will need to have a mindset of a pen tester. If you are able to perform well in the pen testing, you are aware about how misconfigurations can be escalated, how other vulnerabilities can be, chained with each other and utilized to compromise more high value targets. That way, you can work on it. Anything else? I think there is a slight delay in network, so I will just wait for uh, 9:34. If there are any questions, just let me know, or else we can just close it. Let's wait till 9:34. Expected any question? Just let us know. Oh, someone from your side have texted me over the WhatsApp. Okay, someone might have been having my WhatsApp number. Will you be sharing the slide? Yeah, I think I can share the slide. I will just remove my name and the top. I think I will remove my name and about me section, and I will share the PDF copy with you guys. Also, additional links, whatever are, I will share that with the team, and team will forward it to you. At least give me, I think by tomorrow, at least I can provide all these details with you. Okay, it's 9:33. We will just wait for one more second. LinkedIn profile URL. I think. Okay, wait. It's not here. Okay. I will ask team to share the LinkedIn profile. Okay, guys. It's 9:34. It's the last question I got. I will just take this last question, sir. How to become OSINT analyst as a fresher? As a fresher, obviously you need to have a knowledge about OSINT until and unless you won't be able to. But yeah, for OSINT, I think there are very rare jobs that specifically look for OSINT analysts. Specifically for OSINT analyst. There is geo intelligence, there is marine intelligence, there is open source intelligence. Yeah. So in that manner, if you gathered more and more about different type of intelligence, I think definitely you can get into the ocean analyst. But I think job requirement for ocean analyst is comparatively low. So you can speak with some of the people, like I will recommend. It's just F Society is the team name, and they recently, not recently, when Ahmedabad incident was happened, Ahmedabad or Gujarat incident regarding the flight. That time, I think they created the whole investigation by themselves based on the open source data, like what data was provided, what flight was moved from where, and all those things. You can just check for F Society link. A meetup by BSides upcoming. Actually, BSides Mumbai was done in this year itself in the July, so I haven't decided yet. Actually, due to multiple project of Red Team and Purple Team, I'm currently occupied as such. So I will release soon after discussing with the team when we need to do BSides for next year, 2026. There is opening in cybersecurity India. I am not sure about it if there is any opening, but yeah, you can ping Prathamesh Rane or Nikhil Mahadeshwar with the details. So obviously, sir will take it ahead if there is any opening. But I think there are already uh, 10 to 14 employees or interns working on particular project. Okay, I this is it. It's 9:36 already. I won't take your more time. Thank you, everyone, and Jai Hind. Let's have like obviously dinner at your own house. And if anything, any questions or anything, you can just ping me over the LinkedIn, or you can just put it over the mail. Preferred LinkedIn, because I rarely open the mail.